Are you longing to own a Rolex watch but dreading the notoriously long waiting lists at authorized dealers, ADs? Well, you're in luck. In this video, we will reveal some insider tips and strategies on how to buy a Rolex at an authorized dealer without enduring an extended wait. I can see it now, the eye rolls at this topic. There's no way. And if that's how you genuinely feel, then maybe this video isn't for you. But for those of you who have faith and believe it can happen, most importantly those who have some patience, then watch this video till end. I think the last 2 years of watch collecting have made many of us jaded when it comes to buying Rolex watches. It almost makes me wish I weren't so involved in this hobby, because then I'd have the ignorance to think that it's possible to just walk into a store and buy a watch. You and I know this isn't the case. But what if it's not as impossible as we've made it seem? What if you don't actually have to buy countless other watches and jewellery pieces for the opportunity to buy a simple steel watch? I'm here to tell you it's possible. Some people ask, how difficult is it to purchase a Rolex? How can I buy a Rolex immediately? Here are some important tips for you. Visit the store. The first and most important step is to communicate directly. You can buy a Rolex in store. It's not just about making phone calls or sending emails. Imagine how many phone calls and emails sellers receive every day. They may take note of that information, but if you don't build a relationship during a 5-minute call, you will be forgotten. Therefore, visit the AD store in person. By visiting the ADs, you can see and try on different Rolex models, allowing you to make an informed decision. Take your time to explore the various collections and ask any questions you may have. The AD's knowledgeable staff will be happy to assist you in finding the perfect Rolex watch that suits your preferences and budget. Build a relationship with an AD. To buy a Rolex watch, building a good relationship with the authorized Rolex dealer is important. Visit the store regularly and converse with the same salesperson each time. In addition to discussing watches, take the time to talk about other topics such as family, hobbies, and shared interests. By expanding this relationship, the salesperson will be more inclined to help you acquire the desired watch quickly. Building a relationship with the authorized Rolex dealer takes time, but it can bring significant benefits. An example is someone who successfully purchased multiple Rolex watches at retail price because they had a good relationship with the dealer. Consistency. Now that you have your salesperson and have made those crucial initial impressions, you can't just fall off the face of the earth. Just like many people make the mistake of starting a conversation with "I'm looking for a Submariner," the majority of would-be collectors state their interest and then just wait on a magical phone call someday. The problem with this mindset is that it allows you to be forgotten. Sure, you and Joe the sales guy probably had a really great chat and made a great connection, but Joe has since spoken to 36 people by the end of the week and you're a distant memory. You need to follow up with your salesperson. Again, this needs to be done in person when possible to make the best impact and to make sure you're memorable. Drop in for store events they might be having. Go check out a new watch that was released by another brand. Any excuse to go in other than for your Rolex. Schedule an appointment ahead of time with your salesperson to make sure they're there and drop in to look at other watches. Then, just as before, casually remind them that you'd love the opportunity to purchase the Rolex you're looking for. Here's the thing, this step takes balance. You can't bug them too much, and don't go in only on the weekends when they're busy, but make yourself known in the store. Get to know more about Rolex. To overcome the Rolex waiting list, you need to know the brand. You don't have to be an absolute expert, but knowing the history, core models, and technical knowledge will provide many discussion topics with the dealer and show your seriousness towards the Rolex brand. As a result, you have a better chance of being chosen to obtain the desired Rolex model when they make their next delivery. Additionally, try to find out their delivery schedule and visit the store during that time, as they may have just received the model you're interested in. The sales representative is in a good mood, likes you, and all circumstances align perfectly for you to get the Rolex Daytona you've been longing for finally. Deciding on the specific Rolex model you want. When researching and deciding on a specific Rolex model, having a clear preference can be beneficial. For example, if you prefer the Daytona over the Submariner and favor a blue dial instead of a black dial, it can help the staff at the authorized dealer remember your preferences and assist you more effectively. When interacting with the staff at the authorized dealer, build a rapport by sharing your preferences and interests, engage in friendly conversation, and discuss your enthusiasm for Rolex watches. By establishing a connection, the staff may be more likely to remember you and prioritize your needs when a suitable watch becomes available. Then, be consistent in expressing your preferences during multiple interactions. If you have previously mentioned your preference for the Daytona and a blue dial, ensure that you communicate the same information consistently. This will reinforce your interest and make it easier for the staff to recall your preferences. Allocation and waiting time. Contrary to popular belief, there isn't a centralized waiting list maintained by Rolex at their headquarters. Instead, the allocation of watches to consumers is largely left to individual retailers. This means that even if you have expressed your interest to an AD, there is no guarantee of its immediate availability. You might still need to wait until the retailer receives an allocated watch from Rolex, which can be frustrating for those eager to make a purchase. Patience. Finally, the easiest step to dating your AD, but the one that so many of us struggle with. This is not an easy process. This isn't something that's going to happen in a few weeks or months. It is going to take time, and you need to allow that. Hold out hope that you're doing all the right things. Remember, it's possible. Like all good things, it takes time. I'm not saying this is going to work for everyone or every AD. It's simply the advice that I've given so many people over the last 2 years, and after hearing that my friend was able to do this in NYC of all places, I'm even more inspired to share some tips. As someone who has spent a lot of time working in an AD and has many friends who still do, trust me, there's more to it than just spend history. Conclusion. In the end, I would say buying a Rolex at an authorized dealer without waiting long is indeed possible. However, if someone is impatient and don't want to wait long for a Rolex watch, we recommend considering alternative options such as purchasing directly from unofficial Rolex dealers or buying from online stores. So, don't let the waiting list discourage you. The waiting makes Rolex more unique and precious.